Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. Now, I haven't posted a Valby video in a while, but Ancestor mods genuinely break Valby, so let me give you the breach tracking setup, and I'll give you the non-Ancestor mod and the Ancestor mod setup, so don't worry, I got you guys. Let's get right on into today's video. Starting off with Valby's setup. For the red module, right off the bat, it is going to be Supply Moisture. Supply Moisture is basically the best module for Valby anyways, and building into crit is forever just going to be the most DPS for basically any Descendant, so we're going with crit. Now, because we are going with crit, we're going to go in and do all of the crit mods right off the bat. So Skill Insight, Skill Concentration, front lines, as well as emergency measures. Now with Valby as well, you basically want to be spamming her bubble bullet and then also her fourth ability, even though I barely use the fourth ability because I actually suck at this game. Let's start off with cooldown. So with cooldown as well, you're going to go with the 4 cooldown mods being non-attribute focus on module, and then focus on the fusion module, and then MP conversion, as well as nimble fingers. Now with Valby, the last touch on here is just going to be range. You're not going to kill anything if you're hitting no radius, so that's pretty much all you are actually going to need on the Valby setup. Now, there is a hot topic between ground eruption on Valby versus power beyond. So truth being told, in my testing and lab testing and in-game testing, the DPS on ground eruption is less than that of power beyond. Power beyond will basically drag the mobs into you and allow you to dish way more DPS faster, because you can build with Valby tech and shoot your water looking down at the ground, and this will allow you to basically get significantly more damage off in a shorter period of time. So ground eruption might be better for the commanders, but Valby doesn't really struggle with commanders or elites or anything anyways, and power beyond honestly ends up saving your life more often than not because of its towing effect. So I'm backing power beyond my boy. Now let's move on to the next part of this build. Next up, for the other part of Valby's builds, we're going to have a quick look at the Reactor. So before we do that though, I'm going to slap the 2 weapons on, and these weapons do vary based off Ancestor, so we'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. So for the Reactor, you're going to want a non-attribute and a fusion reactor. Thank you for the follows, Endraz. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, bro. So back to what I was saying, you're going to want cooldown on here, that's a non-negotiable, and crit damage, again a non-negotiable. So yeah, you've not got very much room to breathe with this one specifically. Next up, the external components with Valby. Now I know a lot of people will be like, yes, mage, spelled it wrong, yes, mage. However, this is not what you're going to want with Valby, at least not without an Ancestor. So in this instance, you will want to be rocking the Hunter set. Now, with this as well, I'm telling you this from experience, you need spammability on Valby. Hunter on Valby is more DPS than Mage due to the fact that you can spam everything like absolute crazy. Specifically like that, or at least that's without an Ancestor, where the game changes. Can't take a shot every time I say without an Ancestor. Weed 420, thank you for the follow. Okay, so the ideal substats and cores on here is going to be the following: max HP, MP recovery out of combat, max MP, MP recovery in combat, MP recovery modifier, defense or electric resistance, along with max shield, shield recovery modifier, and toxic resistance. For your cores on here, you're going to want max HP and defense across pretty much all of them. This is going to allow you to have the highest survivability, so you're good to go. Now, with Valby's arcade tuning, let's have a quick look at this. With her tuning, it's pretty simplistic, and we're going to go all the way over here, grab ourselves some extra skill power, grab ourselves some additional cooldown, and then go all the way up to this cell over here. Now, you have 4 nodes left. Option 1 is grab some health and grab some NP recovery modifier. Option number 2 is going to be grab some crit damage. Personal preference, crit damage. If you want health, this is where you're going to grab it. Now, with the cell up here, you've got a few options. At least in a team, with Valby, defense neutralization tends to work quite nicely if you do want to go with that. In solo, non-attribute cohesion works pretty well. Mutant cell, this one over here, fusion zone also can give you a decent fusion skill power modifier. Fusion skill power modifier boost. So there are some genuine good options with Valby. Even final preparations would work, or fusion tech tuning would work fairly well. But personally, I'm just going to slap on non-attribute cohesion. Fusion zone does work good too, but I just went with cohesion because that's my own preference. But there are a lot of good options, so you can just definitely give some of them a shot and see what you like the most. Now, with the rest of the build with Valby, let's have a quick look at that. For the weapons, you are basically going to use the beetle if you do not have an ancestor. The main thing that this is here for is sprint speed on here and grapple for your movement. That's pretty much it. If you want a build on here, this is what you would go with. The only thing you would actually want to run on here is going to be Defense Master and Tactical Change, and that's pretty much it. As for the inversions, you just want to go skill cost along with cellular stimulation over here for your MP and health, or you could use neurostim and then pain suppression for additional health as well. So that should wrap all of that up. Now, with this over here, with Valby, it's time we talk about the goddamn Ancestor mod. All my homies love the Ancestors. Now, with Valby, the most important stat on any Ancestor mod is going to be cooldown. So, cooldown on Valby's Ancestor mod is a literal non-negotiable. Crit rate is also incredibly good. Crit rate and cooldown will allow you to get rid of skill insight, as well as get rid of a focus on module for Valby, which is the key thing over here. Crit damage can be amplified this way as well for significant DPS increase, so that's something you're also going to want to keep an eye on. In this instance for the mods, I've replaced Insight and the Focus On mod. I'm going to add a Quality of Life over here and just go with MP Collector, allowing Valby to go absolutely crazy with skill spam. Now, with this as well, we are going to change from Hunter set over to Mage set. The same stats and everything is going to be what you want, but this is also going to increase her DPS drastically as well. This is where we also hold on to the Peacemaker, which is here for the same reason, a stat stick, sprint speed and grapple, except you can run 2 sprint speeds on here, which makes it an even more viable option for moving around faster with Valby. As far as builds go, this is basically the same thing. You're just going to want to hold it as a stat stick. Now, yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of the Valby segment over here. So let's have a look at some Valby Breach gameplay. Now, for the gameplay, Valby absolutely pile drives this mod to no one's shock. She's just absolutely goated. So let's have a look at the gameplay over here. Now, with this over here, you're going to see right off the bat, I just go straight in with the grapple and just start spraying Valby water everywhere. The main way you are going to play her is by standing inside of her water and using the supply moisture to get crits everywhere, and this is just pretty much Valby gameplay. You just spread your water everywhere, everything will just keep getting dragged due to spam, you'll never run out of MP due to MP Collector, and it's basically just about setting yourself up nice and quickly and melting everything with Valby. She's gonna rip everything apart. Like I said, you can use her fourth ability, like I should have been throwing it on this area down here, but I didn't because actual skill issue. I need to force myself to use her fourth ability, otherwise I just forget. I realize that her first ability is more than everything you need anyway, so yeah, I'm genuinely throwing that way. So with this, you can see here, Power Beyond just allows the mobs to never touch you realistically. As long as you keep spamming your abilities, they will literally never get a chance to touch you. They get dragged into the center, the water is very, very active in the center, they all take tons of damage, they die. And so far in this mission, I literally haven't even been touched yet. I think this is going to be the first bit where I get touched by a mob, so let's find out. Over here, the only thing is that you're going to want to ideally be on top of the hill. Yeah, this is where I take my first touch of damage from a mob. So yeah, that's just because they had the higher ground on me, and Valby, obviously the water works with physics and goes down hills better. So you can see here, all I'm pretty much doing is just walking through the mobs, taking a bit of damage, but ideally you just want to keep spamming. Your Tor will come into effect and save you basically. That's just Valby gameplay. Now, even for this bit over here, you just want to go in, throw your water, the Tor goes crazy, everything dies in like literally a second. New mobs spawn in, oh no, they've been Tor'd, same story. Power Beyond is honestly better than Grand Eruption, specifically for this exact reason. With Grand Eruption, you would be suffering a lot more, personally, in my opinion. So yeah, let's just go with that. You can see as well, when you do make first contact with the mobs as well, with Valby's water, the mobs get hit with over 1 million, 2 million DPS. It's ridiculous damage realistically. And bear in mind, I don't even have Ancestor mod with crit damage on it, so this damage can be scaled significantly higher. And elites, this is by the first time I decided to bother to use my 4th ability on, I think. Yep, no, apparently not. Even for elites, you don't really need your 4th ability. Oh no, I do it. Let's go. I also do this over here because the boss is going to spawn in, I'm pretty sure. Yep, there you go. And as you can see, the boss didn't really stand a chance. Poor guy. So again, with Valby, it's just about realistically getting yourself set up. Once you are set up, you will absolutely melt everything. Like I said, she's such a good and chill Descendant. She's just going to rip everything apart, and this is what you'd want to be going for with her. I have had a lot of people say you need health and stuff like that, but truth being told, if you are the one in the first man or woman in the room and you're throwing your shit down, nothing can stop you with Valby, because, well, she throws her shit down incredibly well. Even in terms of just raw dog DPS, you're just going to melt everything and you're just going to do your own thing. Mobs will spawn around you, all that sort of stuff, and you will get odd stray bullets being shot at you and stuff like that. But if you just ignore it and just keep doing your DPS, it's not like it's going to affect you anyways. Because as you can see here, even though I'm just throwing my water down and just picking up the little Vulgus cords, it's just easy. And even with this as well, you'll see just in general that, well, all the cords get piled together, so power beyond working overtime with this one. Now we are coming up to the end of the mission, almost there at least, and same story here. If you do have a higher ground, you definitely want to use it, just because it'll group the mobs together for you better when they do get sucked into the tornado like that. Same story over here. A lot of them came up from that side, ripped them apart, they got dragged into the tor, dragged them apart. Same story. So, you know, you understand the Valby loop at this point. I don't really need to keep yapping. But in general, I think Valby is the probably one of the best in here, along with Bunny, Freyna, in Ace, even in solo, absolutely melts. Eugen, I would say, is probably the best in here, in my own personal opinion, or at least the most satisfying. So, yeah, I genuinely think Eugen is peak. Again, we're just going to go down the tunnel with Valby now, just making sure to throw her water. It's DOT anyways, so the mobs won't die in a second, but they will die over a few seconds. Yeah, Wall Crasher, don't worry. We're wrapping this video up very soon, so we'll make it for Wall Crasher. But you can see here with Valby, everything gets melted. Even over here, if you have any problems, you just throw 1 or 2 bubbles at it and it's all gone. And then here for the final phase, we're just going to run down. This boss fight is going to be maybe under 10 seconds, I think. We'll see. Depends on how fast I put my water down. Water's down. Okay, maybe not under 10 seconds. I lied. I should have used my 4th ability and then it would have been under 10 seconds. Okay, then I used my 4th ability. So now in the second phase, it's going to be absolutely... Yep, there you go. GG's. There you go. That's why you want to use Valby's 4th ability. And with the cooldown on there, absolutely shreds. But that's everything with today's video, guys. And I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button. Valby sweeping it in nice, chill 5 minutes. No problem. But yeah, that's been this video, guys, and I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing. I make plenty of videos on the first Descendant, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!